Hey guys, it's Larry Greenberg, and today we're going to take a look at the HooToo model HT IP210F wired or wireless IP camera with pan and tilt. Boy, that's a mouthful. So this comes from HooToo, and it sells for $69.99 on Amazon.com. Now I already have the camera set up. We'll get to that in a second. I just have the box right here, and I want to talk a little bit about the process involved in setting it up and what's included. So you get the camera, you get an Ethernet cable, you get an antenna, and you get a wall mount with screws, as well as a software CD and instruction manual. And basically, this is how the camera works. So essentially, you can use the instructions, but I decided not to. It was a little bit easier for me to go about the installation a little bit differently. So what I did was plug the camera into my wireless router, and then got into the router through the normal router address, which is by default 192.168.1.1 no matter what router you have. And I found the IP address that the camera was connected on. Since it was plugged in over Ethernet, there really weren't that many options. It was pretty easy to find. And then I logged into the camera, and when you do that, you're brought to a special portal for the camera itself. And it's there that you can create a wireless connection for the camera. So I did that, then I unplugged it and set it all up. From that point, you can immediately start observing video on your home network. To set this up to enable video when you're away, you have to do a little bit more, and some port forwarding in the router as well, which isn't always easy, but I was able to do that. So that's kind of the setup process. Once I got that all done, it was time to use the camera, and let's take a look at how that all works right now. Alright, so there is no specific app for the iPhone that you'll use to watch your camera. Like I mentioned, you can watch your camera from any web browser just logging into your computer to the IP address for the camera itself, or using the address that you set up to enable a remote viewing. But I chose this UFoscam app for viewing the camera when I'm on my iPhone. So it's a free app, I believe. So when I launch it, you can see that that is the view of the camera right now. I do have it pointing into my downstairs basement, and there are a bunch of controls. As I mentioned on the box, this camera supports panning, so if I tap and hold, the camera will move from left to right and also up and down. Now it has 320 degrees of panning and 120 degrees of tilting. It also has audio, so if I enable that, you'll probably start to hear me. I don't have my volume on, but the camera is actually right in the other room, so I'd start to hear myself talking through here. It also has a microphone, so it supports like a push-to-talk type deal, so when I press and hold and start talking into it, hopefully you heard that. That was my voice coming through the camera. So you can hold a two-way conversation with the camera as well. So I set it up as a cat cam because I have it where my cat lives in the basement here most of the time, and I can actually watch him and keep an eye on him. And you can name it whatever you want. Again, there are all the controls for this. Let's see, what else? You can also enable alerts with motion, so that if someone walks in front of the camera, you can have it automatically email you with an alert letting you know that someone got in front of it, which is kind of cool. And it sends screenshots over the internet. So I've reviewed a couple home automation type devices over the last couple weeks. This one's pretty cool. The HooToo camera at 70 bucks. I could easily see putting a couple of these around my house. I love the pan feature. It makes it really easy to capture or view a large area in your home, from one single camera. You do have to kind of be a little bit sensitive as to where the virtual buttons are located with this particular app, but there are a ton of IP camera apps from which to choose from. So that's been my brief look at the HooToo wired wireless IP camera with pan and tilt. This is the model HT IP210F. It comes in white and black, and they sell for $69.99 on sale. I think they're normally 99 bucks over at Amazon.com. The link to that will be in the video description, as will the link to my full review of this over on runaroundtech.com. As always, if you have any questions about this or anything else, definitely feel free to drop me a line down below. Otherwise, please have a great day.